You might have been feeling a little bit defensive, but you've also been able to feel a little bit triumphant, and guidance, intuition, spirit, whatever has been pulling you along. Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, maybe Venus if you want to look at it, North Node. Now my readings here have a past and a present, and if they don't fit, the reading is not for you. But what I would like you to do prior to this reading is ask a question. Now I'm not going to know what the question is, obviously, but take a moment, pause the video if you have to. Think about all the questions that are around you at the moment and focus on one of them. Be aware of all the others, because the cards will answer what they please to and not necessarily what you and I think is the most important question, but focus on one of them. Energy in, energy out. Now, if I mentioned the Sun, Moon and Rising, if you don't know your Sun, Moon and Rising, there's a link down in the description below. Also, on the note of moons, I do regular readings for new moon, full moon, waxing and waning. So I'll put a playlist up of one of them at the end. But in the meantime, I think that's everything. Oh yeah, general reading. So general reading rules apply. Roles can be reversed. Timing's not really absolute. And we've had so many big astrological conjunctions recently that even though this is for February, theoretically, that's when the reading is performed for. It's whenever you're led to it, and there's nothing to say that something won't kick in on like the 28th of February, and then extend into March if it kicks in for you at all, if the reading is for you. So let me just bring up the cards. Now on the top spread, because there's two clarifying cards under each card. On the top spread, it's a really, really nice spread. You have quite a lot of court cards, tens, and major arcana. We have the World, the Ten of Cups, which is always a good one, the Sun, the Empress, the Star, and the Moon as a final outcome. So all pretty positive, but what I'd like to draw your attention to first is the oracle cards that jumped out while I was shuffling them. So, opening to love and mending bridges. Now that's quite an interesting one, because with this Ten of Cups, I feel that at the moment you have access to a great deal of happiness. Let me just move that along a bit. There we go. You've got access to a great deal of happiness, but something is telling me I'm not entirely sure whether you're accessing it or not, and I'm not quite sure yet where that's come from, but I think it's coming from your how you're feeling cards. But also these ones, an affirmation for you to use. I feel protected and secure. My guides always have my back. So there's something that you're facing where you may be feeling a tad bit vulnerable. And we have Hecate with protection, reinforcing that protection image again. And then Fortuna with fate, which is an interesting one considering most of these cards are so very, very positive. And then Ran with abuse. Now that card has come up in your readings before, so I'm seeing that as some wound from the past that probably needs dealing with, to be honest, but I think you have been in the process of dealing with it. But that's not the card I want to leave on the top. I want to leave fate and Hecate with protection on the top, because that Hecate image is echoed in how you are feeling. We have the King of Wands, your card. It's not just your card, but your card. With the Ten of Wands, so there's the Ten of Wands implies a burden that you are in this one, considering whether to pick up, considering where to take it, this burden is mobile. This burden is something that you can choose to ignore. Notice this is Steampunk Tarot, and notice there's cards or maybe even cash fluttering around her. With the moon, there's a duality that you are needing to resolve, and the Tame and the Wild or the Twin Towers, but also things may be appearing a little bit distorted. So that the Ten of Wands can be a really positive card of, yes, this is something that I really want to do, or it can be a tiresome card. This Ten of Wands feels a bit, I'm not sure where I'm going with this. That's the card, not me. Although I'm not sure where I'm going with this until I read the rest of the cards. Okay, so how other people are affecting you. Pain with the Three of Swords. This creature, some form of swamp goblin thing, rising up from the depths to bring back a pain that's been long buried. Again, hitting with that Ran card. But with that, the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, both new beginning cards, both surging forward cards. So someone's encouraging you to move forward, where there's this opening to love and mending bridges. I think one would assume mending bridges would have something to do with how other people are influencing you and how other people are affecting you. So let's have a look at this Ten of Cups. This is clarified by the Queen of Wands and the Strength card. Right. There is happiness on offer for you here. There is happiness that is pretty much under your nose. It may take a little bit of searching for, because in this Ten of Cups, it's some form of search party going through that swamp where that swamp goblin thingy was. But we have the Queen of Wands, who doesn't look too enthusiastic. It's like the Queen of Wands is capable. That's one thing. She's very good at manifestation. She's very good at moving forward when she needs to. But this one looks a little reluctant. And being clarified by the Strength card, is there something that you don't want to do? So in the act of searching for this happiness, there is something that you really don't necessarily want to do. That's an interesting thing, because I feel that doing that thing will bring you this happiness because you have been guided to this position. You might have been feeling a little bit defensive, but you've also been able to feel a little bit triumphant, and guidance, intuition, spirit, whatever, has been pulling you along to the point of going, look here. Here is where you look for your happiness. Here is where you do it. And with the, this is clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel really positive about that Wheel of Fortune. There's but I also feel like with this one, they are cogs in a wheel, but like cogs in a clock. Everything's turning like, what do you call them? Barrels in a lock. As various events are happening, things are being revealed, and then they're being hidden because other things are being revealed, and then they're being hidden because other things are being revealed. So no wonder you're not quite sure of what you're perceiving at the moment with this Moon card. And that's just been the recent times. So there was some conflict recently where you had to lay down the law to push ahead with what you were wanting to do. The Ace of Cups is very much a sense of love pouring into your heart, or a new dream to go forward. And with this Ace of Cups being like a fountain, I'm feeling like, okay, I've got this dream inside me. It's time to share it. It's time to put it out into the world, whether that's in terms of telling people about it, or in terms of manifesting it, and in terms of going, right, this is how I'm moving forward. This feels really, really beautiful. You're not draining the swamp. you're filling it with pure water. So you're cleansing the swamp. This, oh, here's where I was feeling the do I really want to grab this happiness? Because the world has worked to your advantage, but it sure don't look like the world has worked to your advantage. There's been destruction around you recently. There's been chaos around you recently as things are changing. Like I said, with that Wheel of Fortune card, things being revealed because of events, and then they're being hidden because other events have overtaken them and other events have overtaken them. But things have been crumbling. But notice there's no tower here. So it's not been a tower moment. It's just been a natural progression of things. But this has caused you quite a bit of anxiety, and something that you've maybe chosen to remain with, going, I don't care if that's burning down behind me. I'm not moving. Now, if you've seen my readings before, I normally can see a positive spin on the Eight of Swords. Yeah, not this time. It's almost like you've been digging your heels in, like the bull that is behind here, which is also protecting you, I might add, but going, right, no, I am staying here. I'm not paying attention. I am not reacting to this, which is unfortunate because, okay, so this dream that you've decided to bring into being, and all of a sudden the world's like turned like a big jigsaw puzzle. Or if you've ever seen the movie Dark City, when everybody is asleep, the city just morphs and changes, and the next morning everybody thinks it's always been like that. And it's that morphing and changing image that I'm getting from this. But you had a very, very fertile, abundant time. Things were going really, really well. That was what inspired you to go, yeah. It's almost that's what shaped your dream. It's almost like, yes, now I know what I want to do, how I want to go forward with this. Because we have the Empress with the Queen of Wands. The Empress is that fertile time, the Queen of Wands manifesting capably. And this Queen of Wands, the expression on her face to me is a little bit, I can sum it up with, So it's like there's information that has come to her that she has to make a decision on, but she's also going, yeah, that's not right. Don't try and hoodwink. Don't try and hoodwink me. That's, now come on, tell me the truth. But that was a good thing. But being aware that that truth is there, and the results that came from that truth, you were left going, hang on a minute. Okay, so from all that harvest, from all that trying to know that something wasn't quite the truth, I mean, I'm not saying that it was a lie. I'm saying that it was incomplete or an element of misdirection. And definitely an element of misdirection that the Queen of Wands was exposed to, almost like she's facing the magician who's like saying, keep your eye on the ball, keep your eye on the ball, and doing something behind his back. And it made you look at all the things that are around you in a totally different light, which meant things weren't moving fast either, but this is what decided you on this dream. And then you went, okay. And the world went, are you sure you want to do that? Oh, let me just devastate everything so that you have opportunity, which gave you that scared budgie response of, okay, but with this Seven of Wands here, you are able to create a victory out of that, and you have happiness in your grasp. It's right under your nose at the moment. So Page of Wands, Ten of Cups again, Nine of Wands. Now this Nine of Wands is very much, it's a bit like the Eight of Swords. Whoever it is, they're declaring, this is my space, mine. No one comes in here, I don't leave it. And I think that is holding you back, because if you notice with this Nine of Wands, there's a nonogram on the ground in front of them, and a magic circle that you could step in and access all the manifestation and all the power that you need. But no, you're staying in your sticks. but there is that happiness there all around you. But again, with this Ten of Cups, there's a slight hesitancy about the. In fact, in the steampunk tarot, everyone seems to be hesitating by the looks on it. But there's that slight hesitancy of these two. He looks slightly unsure of what her reaction will be, and she looks unsure of how quite to react, even though there's that gateway of happiness right behind them. But you are coming up to the next level, and wisdom will be coming in. So the Sun, which I don't think I mentioned earlier when I said, all the major arcana cards. Now, that's the time you're going into, and you probably know the Sun is the happiest card of the deck, the best card of the deck. Growth, happiness, it can mean children, but not on this one, because there's just a giant winged lion on the top of the mountain, and I think if there was any babies there, they'd be lunch. But it's like a new dawn. A new day is dawning here, because here we go, Eight of Swords again. With Temperance and the Three of Pentacles. Right. Recognition is coming to you. You can create magic. You are going into a time where you can create magic, but you need to know the time to move out of this anxiety, because yes, you are being guided towards a happier place. Go to your happy place, Aries. But it's almost like you're holding yourself quite aloof from it, or you run the risk of holding yourself as quite aloof from it if you don't move forward with the wisdom that you are given, and just whatever it is that's stressing you out. And this has been in a few readings. Check the Aries playlist that'll also be at the end of this video on one of them annoying boxes, if you don't know what I'm talking about, because this seems to have been a theme for, and I thought we'd put paid to it in the last one of the last moon readings, but maybe not, because there's a habit with this, and that bull is telling me about this habit. A bull only moves when it wants to. It might do a bull in a china shop thing, and it might go and charge down the street and gore a toreador, but also if it don't want to move, it ain't gonna move. Which can be good in the terms of protecting yourself, but are you really wanting to protect yourself from whatever this happiness is? Because to be right, news will be coming that may seem like a little bit of conflict to you, but it's almost like I feel that people are, it's which way are these swords going? To me, I think these two are giving the guy the sword, not taking the swords. So news will be coming to you, and bit by bit, the conflict will ease. And I think that could be internally, which I'm getting from the red of his jacket, as well as externally, because where was that other? Yeah, there was a Five of Swords up here. Whatever thing has risen. Oh no, the rising from the swamp was the Three of Swords, wasn't it? Whatever conflict was around, it's an old one. It might as well be put to rest, to be quite honest. But spend a little bit time alone, and you are literally going to shift your shape. So we've got the Eight of Cups. Okay, this dream that you've been trying to bring into being, maybe it needs tweaking, maybe it needs shaping, because maybe you're hanging on to aspects of, you're seeing that your happiness is going to arrive in a certain way or else. And I think this happiness, this Ten of Cups, you're seeking it, and it's just behind you, it's just under your nose, it's just out of your vision and slightly distorted by the way that you're looking at it, because it's not going to arrive precisely the way that you are expecting it, defining it, declaring it. I am staying in my swords, I am staying in my sticks, until I get it the way I want it. And I don't think it's necessarily going to happen that way. But the fact that it is going to happen is fated if you let it. Because this, we've got talking about metamorphosis here in this Nine of Pentacles, and then moving on to the next astrological influence, we have the Magician coming into your own power, the Fool, a whole new beginning, and the fact that he's stood on a roof here, he's not jumping off anything, he's confident about where he's going to go. You know, people can say the Fool can be foolish. It's like, no, there's that roof over there I'm going to get onto, and I know precisely why I'm going there and how I'm going to get there. With this Eight of Cups, now this Eight of Cups isn't necessarily so much a walking away from dreams, it's a changing the dreams. There's magic in this Eight of Cups, but it's based on changing your dreams based on the emotions that you are feeling. So maybe you need to do some emotional work here, Aries, because I know on the astrology, you've got a lot going on in your career. You've got a lot going on in your outside life, your external life. This is internal and external. If you do this internal work, you can get better advantage from the external world. Because, yeah, you may be feeling that there's a burden that you are taking on, but it is right for you to do so as long as you are not swayed by your lower nature. Now, your lower nature could be hedonism, it could be habits, it could also be chaining yourself with all this baggage that you are being given ample opportunity to get rid of at the moment. So that one wants to come out, and we've got the Page of Pentacles. Yes. That devil aspect is holding you back from a new beginning. So I think it is linked with this Nine of Wands, Eight of Swords here. Right, so we've done all of those. But remember, these two piles of cards here, they are a possible future. Let's see if this one... Right, the other future that you have is... if you use the knowledge of when to cut things out and when not to cut things out, so yeah, maybe cut out this anxiety, cut out this fear, this territorialness. You know, this is where I am, this is where I stay, and someone else is going, look at this cup over here. Here's your happiness. It's over here. Yeah, but I'm staying here. This happiness is on offer and remaining. What's this final outcome? You have the moon clarified by the moon, clarified by the Ten of Wands. There is a burden that you will be taking on one way or another, but it's a burden that can be heavy because you ain't moving, or there is a burden that can be constructive. But with both of these moon cards, this moon especially, very much the healing, the unity aspect, the twin towers, and it's not even unifying. So we're not getting rid of duality, but we are accepting both polarities, both ends of the spectrum as part of what is, and still open to learn, still open to receiving wisdom, filtered as it is, still open to the light of the moon, which comes from the light of the sun, and you're a unicorn, Aries. You know, there's that magic in that two things can be true at the same time. So almost like you're holding on to one of them here, but the other one can also be true and is equally valid. And bear in mind, 3 decks of cards here, 3 Eight of Swords, 3 moon cards, but the moon aspect, that accepting of polarities, accepting of duality, and accepting that both the tame and the wild have their place in your life. Both the 2 towers, whatever the 2 towers represent in the moon card, but the black tower and the white tower, for example, both of them have their place, both have equal value, both are equally valid. There is a domestic happiness in that, a joy, a wonder. It is also this Six of Cups. It's often the nostalgia card, the Six of Cups, or a family happiness. But also with this, I'm seeing such an immense freedom. We have a mermaid with three seagulls dancing around her. I assume they're seagulls. They look more like doves, to be honest. But with three birds flying around her. We've got the intellect and the emotion working in harmony, and the dreams that she's holding, the one that she's chosen is the one that's bringing her the most joy, one that is presented to you, one that you need to learn, that you need to know when to cut away and when not to cut away. And I think this new dream is something that you don't want to cut away. So let's go into the oracle cards. But oh no, tell a lie. Hopes and fears. Justice, Six of Swords, Ten of Pentacles. That everything that you have built so far is something that you would have to leave because of the results of some decision that you don't want to make. I think the other cards have shown that fear to be false. So have a look what I separated my oracle cards. We've got a few gods here. Let's see what other gods are at play here. All things coming in time. Okay, and this is your time. This is your time if you let it be. So maybe this is all to do with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, where you are in the process of getting yourself on the right timeline. The one where you trap yourself or the one where you don't trap yourself. Sekhmet, be strong. We have that strength card wherever it's gone. There's right. There a lot of cards wanted to jump out of one of the oracles. Which one was it? Mythic Gods and Titans oracle. We have fear, which the presence of fear has been shown very much. It's something, a power that you don't necessarily want to surrender to, because I think some of this is fear-based. Even though you'll say, no, it's the way I decide to be, it's the way that I am, it's the way, but no, you're not willing to move because you don't want to know what's out there because this is what you've decided. But this is meaning that you're missing the happiness that's right under your nose by the, we have these two Ten of Cups here right in the middle. Listen to the messages, learn to follow your ecstasy. You need to dedicate yourself to a form of unity around you. Right. Here we go. Right. With the other oracle cards, the guardian angel of creativity. Creative energy flows for me the more I choose to express my feelings. All of this, these Eight of Swords, here. There was another one, wasn't there? This Nine of Wands, it's very locked down. Open up a bit. Open up a bit. Open up a bit. Don't let pride get in your way. You can't make it up, can you? Because right. So with the fear and with that earlier moon card and with the stuff that was going on here, deceit. Here it is. The Hangman, the Queen of Wands stuff. Deceit is right. There's facts that you don't know yet. They were coming through somewhere here. There was a Page of Swords, but we also had Hermes with messages. We also had news coming through with. It was somewhere around here anyway. But you don't have to lock yourself away in a sanctuary. This is supposed to be a cleansing time for you. You are declaring your own sovereignty and learning to see the beauty in the world. You are being ignited. If you listen to your guidance, and if you've got this far in the reading, you already know what I'm talking about. But being an Aries, you've probably switched off by now because you don't want to hear this. But you can't give up into your dark thoughts. You have to listen to your intuition. Because there is a lot of energy coming for you at the moment to allow you to break free of these thought patterns. Everything, there is a divine order to everything. We saw that fate card. There is a divine order to everything, and this is your time to be able to take advantage to it. This is something that you should be grateful for, not threatened by. You are being sent on a bit of a vision quest here. You are being sent on a go into the shadows and come back out again with a Sweat Lodge card. But Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine if you take advantage of what's going on here. So, best of luck, Aries. As I said, there'll be various playlists appearing on the screen any second now. Have a look at your Aries playlist. That's it, really. Have a look at your Aries playlist. If this means anything to you, please do comment down below. It's always good to get feedback, and press subscribe while you're there. It's always good for the channel. And your next reading that will be coming out will be your full moon, I think. So we can have a look at the forces that are buffeting you around while you're going through this. Well, this is not a dark night of the soul. There was not one tower card here. Okay, this is just something that you can decide to take advantage of or not. And bear in mind that a tarot reader is not going to make decisions for you, but my advice is take advantage for it. Move out of your safe space into a far wider, far more prosperous safe space. All right? Cheers.